I think first and foremost, just the mental and physical break.
Stephanie White has just issued a cautious update on Caitlin Clark's injury, leaving fans on edge. After concerns over Clark's recent discomfort on the court, the Fever coach broke her silence. But her message wasn't as reassuring as many had hoped.
It's Fever injury update day. You know, that seems to be the major concern around the team right now, is the health of its star players. Obviously, Caitlin Clark being at the top of that list.
With the rookie sensation's health now under the microscope, fans and analysts alike are wondering just how serious this injury might be and what it could mean for the Fever's playoff run. White confirmed that Caitlin Clark has been limited in practice as the Fever continue to take a cautious approach with her recovery.
I don't really, admire the college players that have to come from playing a 40-plus game college season to then having to come straight into the W. It's physically grueling. It's mentally taxing, let alone what Caitlin's had to deal with.
We're still very cautious about working her way back and really letting her body kind of tell her how much she's able to do, White explained. This suggests that the Fever aren't taking any chances with their star player.
And we got a little bit of a status update. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, it was basically exactly what I suspected. Overuse, tightness, clearly not in, the hamstring, calf. If there was a risk of re-injury, doesn't seem like they believe that to be the case. Now, look, with anything like that, there's always a risk of overcompensation or making it worse. I'm not saying there was no risk whatsoever.
White also emphasized the importance of relying on the team's training staff and Clark's own feedback. She mentioned that Clark is making great progress, but they'll continue to monitor her closely to ensure she's not rushed back into action. The goal? To be super cautious and avoid any setbacks. It's clear that the Fever are taking a long-term approach, keeping both Clark's health and her future in mind. But with the playoffs approaching, can they afford to keep her sidelined for too long?
It seems as if it's going in the right direction, and it seems like it was always minor. And Caitlin Clark sent some encouraging things about the state of said injury at practice today. The most that she's spoken, here's what she said.
Yeah, I think taking my time. I feel really good, honestly, and excited to get out there and play again tomorrow, work on things that we need to work on. And yeah, Maria's been great. Our medical staff has been really helpful. But I feel really good, honestly.
It's clear that Caitlin Clark's return to the court wasn't without its emotional hurdles. The star guard admitted that she was nervous about coming back, especially after being away for nearly 200 days. I haven't played a game in like 200 days, so I was a little nervous going in, Clark shared with ESPN. It's a testament to just how much she cares about her game and the fans who support her. That competitive drive to perform at the highest level never fades, even when you're coming off an injury. Clark described the issue as just a little tightness in her left leg, which kept her out of the exhibition victory over the Washington Mystics. But that didn't stop her from pushing through. In her next game, she not only returned to action, but delivered a stellar performance with 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And in true Caitlin Clark fashion, she knocked down a long three-pointer from the very spot where she once broke the NCAA women's scoring record, showing that even with a lingering injury, she's still capable of making jaw-dropping plays.
Thing about Caitlin Clark, or one of the best things, is how much she actually loves the game and how much she lives in the gym, as Coach Stephanie White says, and all those things, which is amazing, awesome. That's what you want from your superstar. But at the same time, you also, can't always go full bore, especially if something's bothering you, and especially if that something is bothering you when there isn't high leverage games going on, when this is the time to rest. So all in all, I would call that a very encouraging status update from Caitlin Clark. You hear it from her own mouth.
In the Fever's most recent matchup, a palpable sense of concern began to build in the arena as the game entered its final stages. Caitlin Clark, who had been a constant source of energy and precision throughout the game, was suddenly showing signs of distress. As the clock ticked down, she slowed her pace noticeably, and fans started to notice the shift in her usual dynamic presence. There she was on the court, visibly wincing after a series of plays, her movements more deliberate than usual. A limp started to appear in her step, and she was seen shaking her head in frustration as she limped back to the bench. The sight of Clark, who is known for her remarkable stamina and resilience, in such visible discomfort was enough to raise eyebrows. This wasn't just a minor tweak, something was definitely off.
And this is what Fever coach Stephanie White had to say about Kelsey Mitchell's.
Any concerns with Kelsey's finger? She seems fine with it and just playing through it.
I forget about Kelsey's finger because, I mean, she was playing great with it overseas too. I mean, certainly, her shot's a little funky in the way that it releases anyway, and I think that she's learned to protect it. So for her, it's like she's efficient, she's effective. Until she starts complaining about it hurting, no concerns.
As the game wrapped up, it was clear this wasn't your typical post-game scenario. Clark, who usually handles the media with her characteristic poise, was nowhere near the post-game press conference. Fans and analysts alike were left to wonder why she'd skipped the interview. This was a first for the player who has built a reputation for pushing through injuries and adversity, having maintained an ironclad presence through both her college career and the early grind of the WNBA. Social media exploded almost immediately, with fans and sports commentators alike speculating about the potential causes of Clark's uncharacteristic behavior. Some believed it could have been a simple issue of cramps, a common concern after a high-intensity game. Others speculated that it could be a result of overuse, considering Clark's heavy load on the court this season, both in terms of minutes played and the high-pressure responsibilities she shoulders for the Fever. But then, more serious theories started to surface. Could there be a potential ligament issue? Something more severe? The idea of a long-term injury was terrifying for fans who have watched Clark turn into the face of the franchise and the future of the WNBA. The mystery surrounding Clark's sudden physical decline in such a critical moment only added to the growing anxiety about the Fever's chances moving forward. Clark has been a key part of their success this season, and any injury to her could have profound implications for the team's playoff aspirations. Fans are left waiting for an update, hoping the severity of her condition is not as bad as it seems. But the uncertainty of the situation is a stark reminder of how quickly the tides can turn in sports. The stakes for Caitlin Clark are higher than ever, and it's not just about her performance on the court. The pressure surrounding her is multifaceted and growing every day. As the undisputed face of the Indiana Fever and the WNBA's most compelling rookie, Clark has become the player fans are showing up to see. She's single-handedly igniting sellout crowds and driving national TV ratings, making her presence a driving force in the league's current rise. But when Clark isn't on the floor, that pressure doesn't disappear. Instead, it shifts. And it's not just the team that feels it, but the coach, the league, and the entire system that's invested in her success. For Coach Christy Sides and the Fever, it's a balancing act between ensuring Clark's health and continuing their pursuit of playoff success. Her absence, even for a short time, could throw a wrench into the team's rhythm. The Fever have finally hit their stride with a solid win streak, with Clark at the heart of that success. Taking her out of the equation, even momentarily, could disrupt that momentum and make it harder to maintain their playoff push. Beyond that, Clark's injury has a ripple effect on the Rookie of the Year race. Angel Reese has been emerging as a serious contender for the award, and if Clark is forced to miss games, the door opens wider for Reese to surge ahead in the race. Reese, who has been playing at an elite level, could capitalize on any missed games by Clark, further blurring the line between the two rookies' seasons. A slip-up for Clark, even a few missed games could tilt the balance, especially if the Fever's performance falters without her. Absolutely, Caitlin Clark has already accomplished more in her rookie season than many players could hope for in their entire careers. From her record-breaking performances in assists and three-pointers to shattering rookie records, she's undeniably left her mark on the WNBA in a way that is both rare and remarkable. These milestones are not just a testament to her skill, but to her undeniable influence on the league and its growth, especially in terms of attracting new fans and increasing viewership. But as much as she's already cemented her legacy, her absence, if it happens, will only magnify the discussions around her future. The Rookie of the Year race, already a hot topic, could take on a new dimension if Clark misses time. While Angel Reese is making a solid case for the award, a few missed games by Clark could shift the narrative. It could open up an even fiercer competition for the title, especially if Reese's stats continue to rise and the Fever face struggles without their star player. Beyond the Rookie of the Year race, the debate about Clark's long-term impact will only intensify. Fans, analysts, and even players will start to examine not just what she's achieved already, but what she could do in the future, especially if her season takes an unexpected turn. This will put even more focus on her health and playing time, as every move she makes on and off the court will be scrutinized. The WNBA is watching her growth closely, and the league is undeniably invested in her well-being as she represents the hope of a brighter, more widely recognized future for women's basketball. In the grand scheme of things, Clark's potential is limitless, but the current chapter of her career is fraught with high stakes. Her health will play a pivotal role not just in shaping the remainder of this season, but in determining how her legacy unfolds in the years to come. The situation surrounding Caitlin Clark has sparked a wave of strong opinions from fans, teammates, and analysts alike. Many fans have been vocal, with some urging the Fever to give Clark a rest. Let her heal now so she can dominate for years, they say, understanding that the long-term health of their star is crucial not just for this season, but for her future in the league. On the other hand, some argue that the packed WNBA schedule, particularly for rookies like Clark, is unsustainable. The grueling pace takes a toll, and it's clear that the league's relentless schedule doesn't always leave room for recovery, something that might be especially hard for a player who's pushed herself to the limit in her first season. Even Clark's own teammates have spoken about the impact her presence has in the locker room. Lexi Hull recently highlighted Clark's determination, saying, "She never wants to sit. Even when she's hurting, she wants to fight for this team." That's the essence of Caitlin Clark, a fierce competitor, always putting her team first, and willing to battle through any pain for the greater good. It's that kind of heart and dedication that's made her such a beloved figure in the Fever organization. But as much as Clark embodies that relentless spirit, the team might have to protect her from herself. The reality is, the Fever are faced with a tough decision. Do they rest their star now, prioritizing her long-term health and success, or do they push forward, gambling on her ability to power through the pain and continue carrying the team? It's a decision that could shape the future of both the Fever and the WNBA. Coach Stephanie White's tone in recent interviews has hinted at something more serious going on behind the scenes, even if the full details haven't yet emerged. It's clear that something isn't right. And it's equally clear that the Fever and the league need to make a choice that could have significant ramifications. As the drama unfolds, one thing is certain: fans need to stay tuned. The stakes are higher than ever, and Clark's future, along with the Fever's, could hinge on the next move.